Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk the ball. Chris Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by DodgerBlue.com's Matt Moreno. Blake Williams, guys, one of the harder videos that I've ever had to host over here. We're continuing in our positional rankings. We come to the catcher position, and just when I think my guy, Will Smith, a.k.a. the janitor, was going to be ranked number one on one of these lists, he's ranked number two. JT Realmuto edges him out, according to MLB Network. Blake, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to be honest. I wish I had way more to say here, but JT Realmuto was really, really good last year.
Yeah, he's been really good for a long time, too. Like, he's been the consensus best catcher for a while. It's been him and Posey, and then Posey obviously retired, so Realmuto kind of took that consensus number one spot. But I will say Smith should be number two. I would put the janitor lower, probably like 11th or 12th, but Will Smith definitely up there.
Hey, top 50% of the league, the janitor. We'll take that. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Like, Realmuto, Will Smith actually passed him in wins above replacement in 2021, according to Fangraphs. Edged him out 4.6 to 4.5, and still was getting no love on the lists. And yet last season, I mean, Will Smith was really good. 260, 343, 465/127 weighted runs created plus. But compared to Realmuto, Realmuto hit 16 points higher, according to batting average, basically dead even in on-base percentage, 13 points higher in slugging percentage. Just 2 home runs separated the two, while Realmuto had 21 stolen bases, graded out much better defensively. So 6.5 wins above replacement to Will Smith's 3.9. Matt, in your mind, is 2 fair for Will Smith?
I think it is. I think, like Blake said, JT Realmuto is kind of carrying the flag for the catcher position right now, and deservedly so. I think he has a longer track record, obviously, than Will Smith, and Will Smith hasn't had the opportunities, obviously, but in the years that he's been up, he's definitely been productive.
Yeah,
and I just don't think he's quite there yet. We haven't seen Realmuto really kind of decline, and Will Smith sort of take another step forward into everything to overtake him. I think that could come maybe within 2 years. And, I know we're focusing on the shredder having him second. And Jeff, I have bad news for you. Part of the shredder showing, if anybody didn't watch these lists on MLB Network, is they have 3 analysts who put together their own individual list as well. So Mike Petriello had Will Smith third. Sarah Langs had him fourth. And Vince Gennaro also had him third.
What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, so Petriello and Gennaro both went with Adley Rutschman as their number one catcher. Obviously, the big prospect with the Orioles, which I don't like. That's aggressive for me. And they had JT Realmuto second, which makes sense, and then Will Smith third. Sarah Langs had JT Realmuto first, Adley Rutschman second, Sean Murphy third, and then Will Smith. So I'll turn over the floor to you, because I know Will Smith is your guy, and I'll ask this question too: is it possible that he's been hurt by you calling him the janitor? If that nickname wasn't out there, can we argue that Will Smith would be up the rankings?
If anything, he'd be higher if more people knew about it. If Tim Neverett was more of a friend of the show. Austin Barnes, by the way, is what's holding my guy back, in case anyone was wondering. Yeah, fourth. The fourth best catcher. Like, I look, Adley Rutschman, I'll give him this. I mean, wins above replacement, not a perfect stat. He graded out better than Will Smith did last season as a 24-year-old rookie in 113 games. Pretty similar slash line. Less home runs, graded out better defensively. Sean Murphy also had a higher wins above replacement. I hope Will Smith's agent, when he is negotiating a extension with the Dodgers, agrees with some of these people that Sean Murphy is a better catcher, and maybe we should just aim for a lower number than Murphy just got. It's like I'm speechless. Fourth is insane. It's insane. Blake, we keep talking about on these track record and all this stuff. I get Rutschman's a top prospect. I get that he had a really good rookie year. Like, what metric was he better than Will Smith in last year?
Adley was really good last year, and I'm going to say I don't really have a problem with him being ranked in the top 3. I think Will Smith at 4 is definitely too low. Anything lower than 3 for Smith is too low. But Adley, I think he's going to be a really special player, and I get why they kind of put him there. I still would put Adley below Smith, but they are projecting for next year. It's not just based off the previous years. So when you're projecting moving forward, I think Adley could be the top catcher in baseball by next year easily, and I don't think that would really shock anyone.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be that aggressive because I do value the track record. So I would still have Smith 2 and Adley 3.
I mean,
Well,
Sean Murphy.
it'll shock Jeff if Adley Rutschman is the top catcher in baseball next year because his guy.
I do have to say, Adley Rutschman, local kid out of Oregon over here. So shout out to Adley Rutschman, small town kid from Oregon. Got to give him love. I mean, I'm looking at Sean Murphy, Blake. He hit 216 with a 306 on base percentage in 2021. That was a year ago. He hit 216. Will Smith in the same year had a 258, 365, 495 slash with 25 home runs, a 130 weighted runs created plus. He had a 160 weighted runs created plus the year before. 127 last year, weighted runs created plus for Will Smith. That was the worst mark he has had in 4 seasons. Obviously, the first 2 seasons, very small. Again, Real Muto, I wish I had a stronger argument for why Will Smith should be number 1 on this list. If you want to tell me that Adley Rutschman's going to be better next year, Adley Rutschman's really good. He had a really good rookie year at age 24. I mean, Will Smith's not exactly aging, but fine. The Sean Murphy one is absolutely insane, and I don't know. I can't recover from that, Matt. So I blame you for this video ending prematurely.
Yeah, I think one thing with Will Smith, just generally speaking, I think he's hurt honestly by the perception, and it was valid in some regard, especially early into his career. I mean, he's still is early, and he's a young player, as you mentioned. But defensively, I think that was kind of he didn't grade well in that, especially when you compare him to your other guy, Austin Barnes, who is viewed as being able to manage the pitching staff and just better defensively. So I think Will Smith is still fighting that perception a little bit. I personally believe he improved in those areas this past season in terms of pitch calling and just handling a pitching staff. But there probably still is, I think it's safe to say, there's still work to be done there. And I think that's what kind of hurt him in terms of the shredder and also in the eyes of the analysts. And, with Adley, he had a great first, debut. For me, whether it was him or any other player, and whether we're comparing him against Will Smith or a different position, it's a different animal when you're expecting a young guy like that to now do it over the course of a regular season. Yeah. And so that's where I kind of think it's a little aggressive for me to say, he's already the top catcher or the second best catcher.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like you said, now once teams start to make some adjustments, they've seen you, they've got some tape on you. What happens? Blake, I'll close with this. Do you think Will Smith has another level to him, or do you think kind of what we've seen the last couple years is about? I mean, because 25 home runs, 24 home runs, the weighted runs created plus is basically the exact same. The slash line is very similar the last 2 years. Do you think we see a tick up? Does he get to 30 home runs? Does he, get the OPS up a little bit higher there? Over 800, or do you think we've kind of seen sort of the ceiling already?
I want to say he has another level, but that's putting such high expectations on him. Like, he's already incredibly good. Yeah. And on a season per season basis, he's grading out ranked with Hall of Fame catchers offensively already. So it's hard to expect too much more from him. But even last year, we saw he kind of had a down year by his standards. So I think if he gets back on track a little more, he wasn't bad, obviously, but his stats did come down a little. So if he gets back up there, it wouldn't surprise me. But it's hard to really say he's going to take a huge jump or anything just because he's already so good.
Yeah, fair. All right, folks, let us know in the comments below. Sean Murphy ranked ahead of Will Smith on one of these lists. I'm losing my mind about it. Should I be losing my mind? Let us know in the comments below. That's Matt. That's Blake. As always, please subscribe. Ring the notification bell here at Dodger Blue on YouTube. If you're a podcast person, check out our podcast, DodgerHeads. Anywhere you get your podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. We greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Dodgers.